Visual sensation. Vision is an important function of human understanding of the world. Vision includes sense and perception. The visual sensation is the most important sensation for human being because it supplies them with the greatest amount of information about the external world. Before going to the details, please remember to subscribe this channel. Thank you. Anatomy of human eye. The middle portion, the dark colored, is the pupil. Then surrounding it is the iris. The white portion is the sclera. And you can see the conjunctiva here. It lines the eyelids and the surface of the eye. So here the middle dark portion is the pupil. Then comes the iris. Then the lens. Here you can see the muscle to adjust the lens. Here is a muscle to move the eye. Here cornea is there. Then at the back of the retina there is a blind spot. From there the optic nerve starts. Here fovea is there and this portion is the retina. The light, it enters the eye through the transparent cornea, passing through the pupil at the center of the iris. The lens adjusts the focus according to the light, and the image appear upside down and at the backward portion on the retina. The receptor cells on the retina, it send information via the optic nerve into the visual cortex of the brain. So this is the structure of the human eye. Now let's see the structure of retina and how it works. We have seen that the light enters through the pupil, the lens adjusts the focus and the light is get reflected in the retina. This is the enlarged view of retina. The retina contains layers of neuron and these neurons are specialized to respond to the light. So when the light falls on the retina, it first activates the receptor cells. And those receptor cells are the rods and cones. So when the light is reflected or falls on the retina, it activates the rod and cone cells, and then this activation is spread to the bipolar cell. So this get activated and then the ganglion cells. These ganglion cells, when get activated, they gather together and converge, and together they form a rope-like structure, and it is known as the optic nerve. The optic nerve, it is a collection of millions of ganglion neurons, and it sends vast amount of visual information. So the visual information is transmitted to the brain through the optic nerve, and this optic nerve is a collection of millions of ganglion neurons. The retina and the optic nerve, they are active processor and they analyze the visual information. So we can definitely say that these two are, the retina and the optic nerve, are the extension of the brain. The rods are visual neurons. We know that the rods and cones are visual neurons. The rods, they are specialized in detecting black, white and grey color. There are about 120 million rods in each eye. The rods do not provide lot detail of the images we see because they are highly sensitive to shorter wave or the darker and weak light. they help us see in dim light. So the rod cell, it helps us see in dim light. For example, at night. The rods are located around the edges of the retina and they are active in peripheral vision. When you need to see something at night, try looking away from what you want to see. So the rods help in peripheral vision. On the other hand, the next visual neuron, the cones, they are specialized in detecting fine detail and colors. There are 5 million cones in each eye and it enables us to see color. And they operate best in bright light. The rod operates in dim light and the cone operates in bright light. The cones are located around the fovea. It is at the central point of the retina. So this is the structure and functioning of retina. The light enters the retina, then it activates the neuron cells, rods and cone. Then the activation is spread to the bipolar cell, then the ganglion cell. Together it forms the optic nerve and via thalamus the sensation is sent to the brain. We have seen that the information from the retina is passed by the optic nerve through the thalamus into the brain. So here from the retina, the information what is received, it is relayed through the thalamus to the corresponding areas in the visual cortex. And this visual cortex is located in the occipital lobe at the back of the brain. We know that the left part of the brain controls the right part of our body and vice versa. So you may expect that the left eye would send information to the right brain and vice versa, right? But it doesn't happen like that. The left and the right eyes both send information to the left and right hemisphere. So both the eyes, left and right eyes, each of them send information to both the left and right hemisphere. And the visual cortex processes each of the cues separately and in parallel. So this is an adaptational advantage. Especially someone loses eyesight of one eye. If only one eye is functional, both the hemisphere will still receive the input from it. So it is an advantage. The visual cortex is made up of specialized neurons that turn the sensations they receive from the optic nerve into meaningful images. We know that the sensations are converted into meaningful things and we perceive things. So here the visual image is created. The cortex has specialized neurons and the sensation from the retina, it is converted into meaningful images. Now let's see what is a blind spot. There are no photoreceptor cell at the place where the optic nerve leaves the retina. Here it is the blind spot area. So in the retina there are ganglions and it unite together to form the optic nerve. The place where the optic nerve leaves the retina, that portion, it doesn't have any photoreceptor. So this point is known as blind spot. When both of our eyes are open, we don't experience a problem because our eyes are constantly moving and one eye make up for what other eye miss. So we don't feel the blind spot. We have learned that a blind spot area in the retina. In that area, there is no photoreceptors. So it is the place where the optic nerve leave the retina. So let's check this by a demonstration. You can see a cross and an elephant over here. You just do one thing. Close your left eye. You close your left eye and look at this cross with the right eye. You should be able to see the elephant image, but don't look at it straightly. Okay, you will be able to see, but don't look at it. Just notice that it is there. So close your left eye and with your right eye, look at this cross. Then move the image so that you are closer to the image. You keep looking at the cross at one distance, probably a foot or so. The elephant will completely disappear from your view because its image has fallen on the blind spot. Try it. Okay. Now we can see how our eye perceives the color. Color is perceived because the cones in the retina comes in three types. One type of cone react primarily to the blue light. It has the short wavelength. Another react to the green light with medium wavelength. And the third react to the red light with long wavelength. So, we know that rod cells and cone cells are there and the cone cells are of three types which react to the blue, green and red light. The visual cortex then detect and compare the strength of the signal from each of the three types of cone, creating the experience of the color. What color we see depends on the mix of the signals from the three types of the cone. So red, blue and green is there. If the brain is receiving a red and blue signal, then it perceives purple. If it is receiving the red and green, then it perceives yellow color. And if it is receiving message from the all three types, that is from blue, red and green, then it will perceive white. The people who experience color blindness, they have inability to detect the green or the red color. So people with normal color vision can see the 42 and the 12 in the below images. Here 42 and 12. The people with normal vision can see this, but the people with color blindness cannot see these numbers. So we know that the cone cells, the three different types of cone cells are so important in perceiving color. After image. Here in after image, you continue to see an image even after your eyes exposure to the image has ended. You might have noticed this effect many times, right? If you have ever stared at a fixed point for a long time and then finally shift your gaze, you probably experience an after image effect. That is, you continue to see the original stimulus. Most of the after image fall into two categories, positive and negative after images. The positive after images retain the color of the original image, and the negative after image reverse the color of the original image. Here on the left side, we have a negative picture. Stare or look at this image for maybe 30 seconds or 40 seconds. And then move your gaze to the blank space next to it on this white area. You stare at this image, focusing on this nose area, and just count 30 or 40. So maybe 30-40 seconds you will be staring at this image, and then move your gaze to the blank space. You will be able to see the after image. This is a negative image, and here you will see a colorful image. So that is the after image effect. In this illusion, your brain creates the after image of a photo, and you will see a color picture. Now let's have a quick recap on what we have learned. We have learned the structure of eye, the retina and the specialized cells like rod cells and cone cells. Then visual cortex, how the information is transformed from retina to the visual cortex in the brain. Then the blind spot in the retina, then how we perceive the color and the after image effect. Hope you like this video. Please share and subscribe. Thank you and keep smiling.